money-wise in Florida, because you were in where you were, you made bank, right?
You're clearing $1 million.
Well, the thing, no.
Yeah, you were.
6.8K.
6.8?
Yeah. A month.
Right?
No, dude, it was like I didn't serve there long enough to like branch out and
To
see
reap
where
the
the money
benefits.
was other places, but the money where I was at was really good
Because of where it was.
and I was so young, dude. Like
Yeah.
the amount of shit that I thought I knew, I had no clue
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Like just from watching, doing my thing, like I really didn't. Like I was kind of thrown out there and I just like did whatever and like made it work. And then I moved up here and it was crazy because when I moved up here, I was coming from all this fine dining stuff. And I, like the first interview I got here, because I didn't even know, I'd never left there ever.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know what Texas Roadhouse, Logan's Roadhouse was or anything. So I interviewed there, got the job there, didn't take it, interviewed at another place, Rodizio, the Brazilian steakhouse, did that shit for a year at Rodizio, and then left and went to Fleming's. And then I got to Fleming's, and then I had a big reality check because I was fucking drowned there. I didn't know shit, dude. I was like 21 at this point.
Oh,
I
wow.
was serving all this shit. This is like Nashville, like all this. Everyone
Yeah.
there was like these top dudes, been there for 15 years and shit, and they were like, fuck you, you're a kid, you suck, type shit.
Yeah.
And I was fucking everything up, bro.
How'd
Just
you hold
driving
your
that
own?
place. I didn't. This other dude came in and started working there that used to work there, and he just like trained me. His name was also Matt. And yeah, he just kind of taught me a bunch of shit, dude. Like big like sommelier and like knows all this shit, taught me a bunch of shit, and then like kind of just was like, dude, you're good. And then
Go
stayed
on.
there for a
It
couple
does
years
take
and left.
just one person to like just take a chance on you.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
You can
It really
learn a lot.
does.
If someone's willing to be like, all right, I'm going to put you underneath my wing,
Yeah.
like you can
Mhm.
learn a lot from that person, because it's like, even like when you go to a new restaurant, you don't know what those fucking buttons are. I don't
Fuck
care
no,
how much
dude.
you train. You still, after day 4, you don't know what those buttons
And
are.
it gets busy, and you're like,
I gotta hurry up. I gotta
Right.
fill this
you're
in. Like,
sitting there at this, looking at the screen, you're like,
ugh.
I don't even remember what I was doing here.
just like blank.
It's been a
like,
solid
blank,
2
dude.
minutes after greeting them, and then you're like, I need to get them water. Oh my god, I just got triple sat. What's going on? I don't know where this
Mhm.
button is. It's like, dude, it's so easy to like get overwhelmed
Mhm.
And
so
get
quick.
flustered.
And nowadays, though, it's like, especially where we work at, we were there when it was like peak coming out of COVID
Busy.
and shit, and we were just
Yeah,
getting
you
fucking
guys, yeah.
railed nonstop. So the
'Cause
shit
weren't
that
you
happens now,
guys-
we're just like, oh,
Whatever.
well,
We're kind
time-
of like used to it
time
now at this
management, doing all
point.
that stuff, just figuring out what you need to do one thing at a time instead of trying to just do everything at the same time and like thinking about it all at the same time.
Well,
It's
we've
just so
also
easy
all
now.
gotten to a point where like we work as a collective group,
Yes.
and we know the
Yes.
people that we need help if we're drowning. We know who to ask,
Mhm.
or we know, hey, I need my server assistant. Hey, I need you to go do this. And we know which one to go to, because like you're not gonna do it, but you will.
Yeah.
So like I'll throw you some money if you help me,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
We got good people, man.
We do.
We got some good people.
But where did you start working?
I started I
Four
started at a little Mediterranean restaurant.
In
It was my
Ohio.
first serving job in Ohio. Yeah.
Was it what kind of style was it? Was like you
It was
the
tapas.
numbers?
What?
What did you get the numbers
Was
and
it
like?
like
Oh, no, no,
Barcelona.
I
At
would serve
table?
tables.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had tables.
Oh, so you
like-
actually had to know the menu.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
like I had a whole menu. It was tapas, so you had like small and large portions, different stuff like hummus, like appetizers, hummus, all that stuff. Yeah, I loved it actually. It was like I kind of like moved up a lot there. I started hosting for a little bit because I'd never served before, so I started as a host there, and then they gave me a serving job. They like, cool, like you seem good, you got it. I ended up being like a lead server there and closing, like opening and closing and stuff, and kind of
Oh.
just hopped from
Man, when you get
there
to
ever
cloping,
since.
It's cloping.
cloping, man, that's the
Cloping, dude.
worst. You're like, who fucking closed last night? Oh, I did.
Oh shit, me.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, it was me.
Sorry.
Oh, really
But-
bossed that one.
I love that job,
Yeah.
but it was time to go. COVID happened,
Oh yeah.
and
So you
we
went
kinda-
from Ohio COVID to
Kansas City,
oh,
Missouri.
oh.
Mhm.
Hey now.
Yeah,
Hey now.
yeah. Wasn't
So what'd you do
my-
in Kansas City?
I worked at a restaurant.
Well,
Which
Really?
one?
I hope you worked. I just survived in Kansas City.
I worked at a restaurant in
Well,
Kansas
that is
City.
where-
Oh, where'd you work
Doesn't
at?
your
A
dad
restaurant.
live in Kansas City?
Yes.
Okay, what restaurant did you work there?
It's called Trezomare,
What was that?
an Italian restaurant. Like locally owned Italian restaurant.
Fire.
You met the owner of that place. Well, sort of. He was at Urban Grove that
at
night.
Urban
We
Grove.
were there.
Yep.
He was,
That was
his
a
daughter
weird
was in
thing,
Nashville.
too.
That was weird as shit.
We were just sitting at Urban Grove one night. She looks over and she goes, "Oh my god, I know that person."
I
And
just
we're
kept
all
looking at him like,
"No,
he
you
looks so
don't.
familiar.
You don't
Like,
know him. You don't know
They're
him."
like, no. There's
like,
like,
no,
no
you don't.
way.
Yeah, no, you don't.
He's an old man. Like, you don't know who
We
that
were like,
is.
"Please
Like-
don't go." We were like, "Don't go interrupt him. We don't want to." Like, you don't know him. And then
I got up.
Yep. He goes, "Oh my god, Bailey."
And you're like, oh,
and
yeah.
We literally were all like, oh, fuck us. Like, I guess you do them. Like,
Yeah, and I was like,
what are the odds of
my-
that, though, dude? Especially,
Literally.
like, Urban Grove is such a not,
Literally.
like, it's not
Yeah.
like we're sitting in, yeah.
He was the next table over.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't anywhere else in the complete opposite side of the restaurant. He was right there. I'm like, well, that's weird.
Aw.
dude, that's
that-
like
that was
sad.
people that like. I've had that happen where like so I was working at Melon Mushroom and this guy had sat at my bar. He asked for a drink and then he was just sitting there eating pizza and I was like, he looks really familiar. I was like, oh, and I like kind of chatted with him. I was like, where are you from? He's like Southern Indiana. I was like, oh, me too. And then he like looked at me. He's like kind of like questioning me and like asking where I'm from. And then I'm like, oh, my mom works at the Target. And he's like, your last name York? And I was like,
Okay,
what?
that's weird.
How do you know me?
Exactly.
It was my child doctor, my childhood
What?
doctor,
Your
My
pediatrician?
God.
my pediatrician.
He remembered you after all those years.
He was like,
Aw.
your mom's.
Because he looks just like his mom.
Kathy.
He's like, your mom's Kathy.
Is your mom still, does she still see him or not?
No.
Pediatrician.
But he goes to
Pediatrician. That would be weird as
Yeah.
shit. Gotcha. We're good.
But
Gotcha.
no, he goes to that Target and she talks to him still.
Oh,
But it's the
gosh,
weirdest thing.
that's so funny.
He had to go to Vanderbilt and he had something going on with him and only Vanderbilt could help him.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
And I
about
was
right.
like, holy shit. Like, what are the odds of this being my pediatrician? I was like, because he looks so
When you're a
familiar and I could
kid.
not figure it out. And then he's like, is your
Not
last name
here.
York? And I was like, oh
Right.
my, how do you remember that?
Is my last name.
How
Actually.
did you know
Actually.
that?
But yeah, no, he
crazy.
talks, he's like, yeah, your mom works at Target. And I was like, yeah. You get that all the time. It's such a small world.
It is. The
Yeah.
people you run into are, yeah.
It's just wild who you meet.
Yeah.
And like people like that guy's from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Why
What
is
are
he
what
in
are the
Nashville?
odds
Yeah.
are that he's in Nashville?
Oh, I know. Well, his daughter lives here.
Oh, that makes sense.
So,
But
he comes
still.
to visit.
But still,
But the same restaurant.
At the same
time,
restaurant,
same place.
yeah. If you
Like,
would have been 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes
Yeah.
later, who knows? Yeah.
it's
I
just
kind of feel bad though. I did that place kind of dirty. Not really, but
what that place in
Yeah.
Kansas City.
I did. I gave my 2 weeks notice, but my last day, it was Mother's Day. Fucking sucked.
I wouldn't have done. Nope.
Oh,
Dude,
awful.
Gone.
But I was hungover.
you're not.
as
I
shit.
promise you're not making money on holidays.
Mm-mm.
Christmas is the only holiday that you might make money on.
I actually
Mhm.
did all right that day for when I was there. I left because I was so hungover and sick. I was throwing up.
Oh,
That
no.
job, I've gone in there a few times where I've like was just not feeling good and I've had to leave and I'm like they probably looked at me like so
That's a funny other part
Bad.
of the restaurant shit. Like,
like
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
Dude,
fucked
everyone
up.
comes in
Everyone's
Oh my
fucked up,
gosh.
dude.
Ugh.
So
Everyone's
after Bob Evans, my pride and joy, I worked at a family-owned Italian restaurant in St. Charles,
Mhm.
which was great. I started out as a host there, and then like the last 2.5 months I was there before I moved to New York, I served. But I was one of their like banquet captains, so I did like all of their like banquet serving and stuff like that. I was like their main cater waiter.
Not
They
the
like
cater
to,
waiter.
yeah, that's what they like to call it, cater waiter. But when I moved to New York, because I didn't have any experience, you know, that's what everybody in a bustling town likes to say, like what you said about Nashville. Anybody in a bustling town is like, you don't have any experience, so no, you can't work here. And it's like, okay, but like,
I'm probably more competent than you are.
right.
I'm not gonna
I'm
say
not
that.
stupid, like, right.
And I
But
can learn.
when I finally got a job in restaurants in New York, it was like the easiest thing ever because the restaurants that I worked at didn't expect me to know the menu. Like all they really wanted you to push was drinks. Like they wanted, you know, they just wanted people to get drunk. Like we would take shots on shift. Like we called them, hey, we have a team building exercise over here. We need you to come over here. And then we'd all go in the corner away from the cameras and take shots.
sounds fun.
Oh, it was a blast. Well, and I
dangerous.
was in right.
It's a
I
life
was
I
in
wanna
Hell's
live.
Kitchen in the middle of New York and in the gay district, and so it was wild. But I mean, the money was so good, and it was
Yeah.
always cash. It was, and we got.
Can't beat that cash.
I mean,
Man, cash is king.
I
Just-
made my rent in like 2 nights, and then everything else that I made was shit money.
Mm-hmm.
And
COVID really
nice.
ruined that for everybody, didn't it?
Dude.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
had
was
to get out
seven.
of there though because there was some illegal shit going on. I mean, very typical, stereotypical New York. Some illegal shit going on in there, and it was not great. But I
I'm doing
mean,
something in the bathroom, not Pepsi.
I was about to say, drop the name of the restaurant right now.
Literally,
Listen.
name that restaurant
Name that
right
restaurant
now.
right now. Where is it at?
We will ruin it.
No,
We'll tear it to the
No,
ground.
because
We will
I mean-
go there to ruin it,
right?
not to have
Well,
fun.
and it's
Not
so
that fun
crazy
to
because
ruin.
like one of the co-owners of the restaurant, it's again so New York. One of the co-owners of one of the restaurants literally was like a city councilman. Like, it, it's just
So name the restaurant.
Yeah.
right. But it's just so crazy because like you don't think about that like actually you see that and happening in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. But then like when you are actually sitting there like watching a drug deal happen right in front of your eyes between a bartender and like a dealer, it's mind-blowing.
When I worked at Cheddar's, there was apparently a guy on Easter that was shooting up in his toe. Like this son and this dad went to the bathroom, and this guy was like shooting a needle into his toe, and the dad busted back out of the bathroom and grabbed the manager. He's like, "You come with me right now." And they busted this guy, and they like arrested him right then and there on Easter, and he was with his family at Cheddar's. It was like, what?
My God.
Dude,
We did have somebody OD in our bathroom once.
I mean, that's not surprising. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Again, so New York.
But-
The amount of
But
times I've seen a stretcher come into our spot since I've worked there, at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
in ours?
Yeah, honestly.
Mhm.
Nuh-uh.
I
Oh,
say
yeah.
twice for me.
Mhm. I've seen it happen probably 4 times, 3 or 4 times.
That's
Because there
wild.
was that one lady that she
Mhm.
kept.
A couple weeks ago or
Dude,
months ago.
no, it was a
I
couple months
watched
ago.
a lady just walking to the bathroom, trip, smack her head, hit the wall, and then just fall on the ground and just sit there.
Was that the one where Christina was like on the ground and she was like helping her right in front of the employee door right there?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it the same lady that like some random lady came in and tried to like hit this lady or come in the door and kept hitting this lady? In the
Yeah.
head?
No, that was
No.
a different one. That was the front door.
There was
Wow.
that recent one in the private dining too,
Yeah.
where the lady
Oh, that
just
lady
collapsed
just
and
fell
started
over,
seizing,
yeah.
and then they had to
Oh, I wasn't there
pull
for
up
that.
an
That was
ambulance.
the craziest
and,
thing.
yeah,
That
we're
was
all just
wild.
like, what the fuck?
I remember the one that I was personally involved in. A guy collapsed in the doorway, and like he wouldn't let us help him really, but he like full blown.
I remember
was
that, too.
out. And it was me and Brad trying to like get this guy to let us
I
help
wasn't
him,
there. Yeah.
and because like we even like gave him a glass of water, and he like. We like got him to sit up, and then he was like, "No, I'm fine," and like stood up. But then he stood up too quickly and passed out again, and like dropped the glass, and glass went everywhere. It was wild, but like,
Well, also Nashville does not care about
Dude.
over serving.
yeah,
No.
Uh-uh.
No.
If I'm surprised.
on Broadway.
I'm surprised like nobody's lost their ABC license downtown.
It's
Well,
impossible. How would you?
how can
do
you
it?
track
But that-
everyone they
that
get
is the
from-
problem.
Literally, it's not. I
It's
know.
not.
I think
po-
about it all the
I
time.
can't
Whenever
tell.
someone leaves there, so like super fucked up, I'm like, dude, I can't do anything. They're gonna go to
Go right next door.
right
down
right
to...
onto Broadway, and the
Tootsie's.
bouncers are either gonna let them in or they're gonna say you're too fucked up. And most of the time they come in from Broadway anyway. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Like, how am I?
And
Then
I'm
they
not
go
then it's
pound
like-
shots at
I
this
don't know.
bar.
Also, they take
go to the
pills and
next
shit.
bar.
I don't know if you're what you took. Like, you
Yep.
could have one drink with me and leave, and that one drink could.
Oh my god, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I've
happens
had that
all the time.
happen.
It happens all the time.
My
And you know when they're
party-
on the pills too. They're
Huh?
acting crazy and shit. You're like, what?
Needle eyes. Like,
Or all of a sudden they have like 3 sips of their wine, and then they're just like,
And then I'm like, eat this bread.
right?
And
that is one time I will
Yeah.
actually be like, okay,
Yeah.
now,
Here.
now
Here's
More
take
more
bread,
that.
bread,
please.
please. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Back
telling
to
the guests
bread.
more bread, please.
eat
instead
this
of
bread.
the-
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, yep, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. We're just gonna let you have this free bread. I don't really
yeah,
care.
yeah.
Like sober up, please, because I'm not trying to lose my license because of you getting drunk. There was actually one person that I heard one time at Mellow Mushroom that like got so intoxicated and they walked out onto 21st Avenue and got
Mhm.
smacked by a car and died
Dude,
Wow.
that shit. I know that. I know
because they were very like adamant about not over
I
serving
know that
people there.
happens.
hmm It happens all the time. All the time. And people definitely lose their, licenses.
So
and stuff.
there was actually one guy, Chelsea. Did I ever tell you this story? Our friend Chelsea had some friends come in from Washington, and where she's from in Washington, it's just nothing but woods, and so they just party, party,
They just drink.
party, and drink. That's all they do, all day, every day. They get off work, they start going drinking. So, anyways, her friends came in, and this kid started drinking at like 9 a.m. He was drunk by like
God,
noon,
dude.
and so he got on those bicycle taverns, and then he went to go get off mid ride.
Fell off and got hit.
Got hit by a
Yes.
car.
Yep.
That was, and then Chelsea.
That was one of
Mhm.
Chelsea's friends. I
Chelsea,
heard about
what?
that.
Chelsea had to leave her job because she was like waiting.
That was here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god. what
I have the
heck?
pictures of it. But
Mm.
Chelsea had to leave her job to go pick this dude up because the cops were like, "We're not taking him to the thing because he's so intoxicated." And like, if we take him there, he's gonna sit there for like 12 hours. And so just take your friend.
Mhm.
Like, you know him, you know his name. And so she had to like repeat to the cops his name, where he's from, because like they were obviously friends.
Didn't someone die? from that too, though? From
there
like
was
a
somebody
similar
who
thing
fell-
that fell and got hit by
No,
a
it
car?
was they fell out of one of the wagon thingies.
Yeah, or something.
They fell out of the back of the wagon. That's why they all have they're enclosed now.
Oh yeah.
Because somebody fell out
That's
of the
what it
back of
was.
one and got ran over by a car.
There's
Same
also
thing with
people
the
that
scooters,
scooters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
the
God,
scooters,
yeah.
the fucking scooters.
I've definitely eaten shit on the scooters a
Oh,
couple
God.
You
times.
could, dude,
Like,
especially
terrified.
I,
I've used
I've,
one. I
wa-
have
I've gotten
stars.
hurt on them.
I've
on
never
the
used one
scooters,
because I'm terrified.
especially if
Yep.
you're coming down to Mumbrium and like
Oh
you're
my
hauling
God.
ass.
Mm-hmm.
That brake on that scooter is
Dude.
not that good. I
And you're
promise
like,
you.
Watch out! Coming through.
And they do haul ass too.
No,
They
they
go
do.
fast, dude.
Oh yeah.
I'd be terrified
yeah.
to go down 8th Avenue.
There's someone told me that one time this kid and his mom were on it and they obviously ate shit and his mom got a brain contusion and died. Dude, I don't trust those things.
No,
No,
I
dude.
don't.
The only time to ride them is when after you've had a few drinks, like. And they don't do. There's no. It's
Just
true.
get real fucked
Yeah.
up.
When
on
else
them.
are you gonna ride them, dude? You're not gonna go downtown and ride scooters. Like if you're downtown, you're drinking. That's the only reason you're down
when
there.
when the scooters started coming out, this one video of downtown Nashville,
Mhm.
this lady got on one and like went into traffic and like ate shit right in front of a car and like it was
Well-
an older lady too. Like what?
And the thing is, when they first came, you could do it until like 3 or 4 a.m. When they first hit Nashville, you could ride them late at night. And then all that stuff started happening, so they bumped it back down to what, like 10 or
Curfew,
11.
What do they
and then
like?
walk up.
Just turn them off?
Yeah, you'd be riding them and it'll literally just turn off. Like I got stuck with one. We got stuck with a
Mhm.
few of them one time because we were out of zone. So we were throwing them into the back of our cars, trying to drive them into zones for 3 hours because
They're
we were getting
beeping.
charged hundreds of dollars every like 45 minutes, whatever, because we couldn't park it because it just locked.
Oh,
We
That
couldn't
It
move
sucked, dude.
anywhere.
That's
We
a
couldn't ride
whole
it, we
other
couldn't
story.
Oh
move.
my
Like
God.
we were driving all the way down at Elm. Oh, it was so bad.
was
Throwing them into
so
trunks, and they're
frustrating.
like, yeah, it was not cool. Yeah, they cut them off now because of that. Because like people were getting hurt all the time.
I mean, it's a great concept for like a mode of transportation.
It is, dude.
and it's way cheaper than Uber because
Yeah.
Uber's a little ridiculous
It's
right
fun
now.
too. They're fun.
Yeah, they are fun
They're fun, man.
They're fun.
until you
Can't
get hurt,
even-
and then you're like, they're not
Yeah.
so fun anymore.
They're
I
still
enjoy
fun.
it.
They're still fun.
I'm just glad I don't have to ride one to work
Yeah.
because that would suck,
Oh my gosh. I don't know how Seth and Bidwell do it every day.
dude.
Well, they
Bidwell,
drive sometimes.
Right.
Seth drives more than Bidwell,
does. But
but
Bidwell, unless Seth brings him to work, he drives his scooter.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun. I would
Wow.
love that.
I think he rides a boost. He has a one wheel, a boosted board, and a scooter.
Nah, he stopped the one wheel.
Well, because the one wheel hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
He went over a bump one
Really
time,
bad.
and I can contest to
Mhm.
that. I used to ride that thing to work. When I lived in Oregon, I only worked a mile and a half from where I was from. So sometimes I'd ride the one wheel. But dude,
Mhm.
you get going fast on those things, they get terrifying. But yeah, I just don't riding stuff to work. Give me a car. I'm good.
Mhm.
Unless you live in New York City, like
Just makes
New York
no
City,
sense.
Cali, like you can get away with like walking to work.
Yeah.
Chicago, maybe, but it's got to be
Not
summertime.
really. Not really Chicago. Because, I mean, unless you literally live and work downtown, everything
Right by
is
each other.
like,
It's far.
everything is,
Yeah.
it's very much like Nashville in the sense that, like, you have to either take the L train or drive.
Yeah.
Naples, you had to drive, right? Because
Dude, I've never been on a train. I've never seen a train. Never
Like an Amtrak or like a
Any-
public transportation.
anything like that.
Really?
Swear to God. Swear to God.
He's a
You're
sheltered
definitely
little
from
boy.
Florida. Poor
Swear
Florida
to God,
baby.
dude. Yeah.
I just drove my Maserati to work. No biggie.
No, not
No,
even.
it was a
not-
BMW.
No, it's not even like that.
You do have a Beamer.
Not even like that. Not even like that. I don't know. Never been
Well, I
on a
mean,
train.
Florida's not known
There's
for its
trains, but I've just never seen.
trains.
I've never
Like
like
trains,
been on one
automobiles.
or like a subway or. I
Yeah.
don't-
You're not missing much. I mean,
I
it's
wanna
just,
do that
it's just
shit
another
so-
mode of transportation.
I want to go to Chicago. Chicago looks
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah, Chicago does
Mhm.
look fun.
Chicago's
It's fun.
fire. I've been there a couple of times.
Me too.
I like it.
It's actually pretty.
Marcus, I
cold.
don't think you'd like it.
It is cold.
I've been there a
I
couple
recommend
times,
going
yes.
in the summer.
Do you guys
Oh.
do you like going to restaurants though? Like in different cities, like big restaurants, or you like doing like random stuff like burgers and fries at a random joint?
I
or
like all
something?
that.
I like
stuff.
both.
I like what the local people would go there and eat, like what the good stuff is.
Do you,
and
do
then,
you
like, what the
research
nice stuff
before you
is.
go there?
No, or usually when I'm there.
Do you just
You'll
ask
like
around?
look it up or
Mhm.
ask your.
Yeah, like if I want to go to a steakhouse, be like, "What's the nicest steakhouse?" Or like, "Where do
Okay.
we go for this?"
What's the nicest steakhouse you've been to?
here?
Anywhere.
Ooh, Ocean Prime, Miami's really nice.
That sounds nice.
Ocean Prime sounds like
that's
a good
nice
name.
spot,
That's
dude.
not, that
I mean,
sounds 5-star. Like
Bourbon
Michelin.
Steak's really nice here. If you guys haven't been there, it's
I've heard bourbon steak's
right
really
on top
good.
of the JW.
You
It's
said
super cool.
because my buddy likes oak. You
Oak
said-
is good too. Oak is good, but it's not the nicest like
Okay.
by any means.
I honestly like because I haven't done fine dining. I haven't eaten
Yeah.
fine dining. I think Jeff Ruby's
Jeff Ruby's is really
Jeff
good.
Ruby's was the nicest
Mm.
place nicest
that
place
I've
I've
been
ever
to
been.
so far.
Well, I will say there is, and you'll know this place, maybe being from Kansas City, sort of, but there's a place very similar to Bourbon
Mm-hmm.
where it's a restaurant that sits on top of the Marriott, but it spins. Do you know that restaurant? So it sits on top of the restaurant and it
That's
actually
fun.
rotates. It's actually, I mean, I only went there one time when I was a kid, and we only got like dessert or something like that. It was because hello, fine dining, but that was probably, besides Jeff Ruby's, that's probably the nicest restaurant I've
Jeff
ever been
Ruby's is
to.
good.
Dude, we
Nice.
spent $2,800.
Uh-huh.
You're like you're like 8 crab cakes,
5
16
bottles
bacons,
of wine.
4 bottles of water.
We were like,
or
oh
wine.
my god.
I'm like looking over at you. I'm like,
Bob.
Matt, like calm down, bro. I
Matt
can't-
was ready to go in that night.
You're like clams, oysters. Well, what did we get?
I didn't
we get
even
clams,
eat 90%
oysters,
of the things that
Well,
were
sometimes
crab
ordered that
cakes,
night.
bacon.
Sometimes it's easier though if there's just like everyone instead of everyone like like just shout
No,
shit at you. If there's
100%.
one person that's just like we're gonna get this, we're gonna get that. we'll do
That is 100%
Well, obviously
easier.
we're all out there to have a really good time, so like we're gonna spend the money.
Did we want to spend the money?
I was ready to spend the money.
Daddy was ready.
Did he?
No, I mean it's not like something you do all
No,
the time.
absolutely.
No.
And
So,
that's
like,
why I was
when
okay
you're
with
gonna
spending
do
the
it,
money.
you gotta do it.
Yeah.
You
We
know.
just, it was a very eye-opening experience for us just because we'd never ate.
Well, we've never
Out of-
been on that side of it.
Mhm.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Like,
We've
we've
never
never
had to be like,
eaten somewhere like
Oh,
that.
we're spending $600 at a
Right.
restaurant between the both of us. Fuck, shoot
Because
me
the
now.
only place that, like here in Nashville, the only place that we've been to that was like that caliber where we spent that kind of money and like wasn't thinking about it was when we went to Morton's that one time. And the only reason
Yeah.
the only
Mhm.
reason why we went there was because it was being paid for by somebody else. Like, and we were able to get whatever we wanted. And
Yeah,
the only thing
and not
that
go
we were
crazy.
Mhm.
right,
But I
But
mean,
the
we still
only
spent with
thing-
tip like $200.
right. The
Yeah.
only
But
thing that
everything
we
else
were
is
responsible
comp.
for were our drinks.
Drinks, and then I think something
No,
else.
just drinks.
And that's the thing too. Is
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah, because we spent like $100 in drinks. And
Yeah.
then tipped her 100.
I love doing that shit, dude. I love going out to places like and just having a ball.
Yeah.
Like getting whatever I want.
living
doing whatever
large.
I want. Like I'm not gonna go out and be like, oh no, well, we can't spend this. Like we're gonna have to budget this. Like there's times and places
let
for
the
that.
ball out when
I
you
like
go out.
if we're gonna go out, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go get whatever we want to get.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a great fucking time, and we're gonna enjoy
Bet your server's
it.
getting like 35% though.
And the server's gonna get tipped out the ass, and it's gonna be a fun night. Just like
Yeah.
I would want if someone were to go out and I were to take care of them. That's how I want them to be. So
Yeah.
it's like,
that's
I'm
my
gonna do
big
that
thing.
to them.
And
and,
that's
like,
what
we're
I
gonna
tell
have
everybody
fun.
that I serve. I'm like, look, if you're not happy with your meal, I'm not happy
Exactly.
with this at all because
Yeah.
I
That's
want
the
to be
main
treated
thing,
how
dude.
you want to be. Like
100%.
how you expect to be treated, that's how I expect.
We want to
be
go out,
treated,
have
vice
fun, and
versa.
like have a good time.
Like,
you
I'm
know?
not
If
here
you're
to
gonna
push push you into buying
Exactly.
something that you
Right.
don't want to buy. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I
Exactly.
don't like.
And
if
I'll
you-
tell you if I don't like what
Literally.
I will in so many words. Like there's one menu item that I particularly, it's always sent back. It doesn't look appetizing, and so I will literally be like,
if
know
we
exactly
can
what you're
if we
talking
could
about.
say which one do you
Steak
think it
tartare.
is? What?
Steak tartare.
okay,
That's mine.
what do you think?
That's
Bone marrow
mine.
ragu.
Yep,
What's that
the
one?
octopus and bone marrow ragu.
Oh yeah.
People ask me about it all the time, and I'm always like, that is not
Bone
like
ma-
there's you have to think
Mhm.
about the politically correct way to say it.
you
Like
can't
that's
say it sucks. You have to be like,
right.
I'm not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of it, or
Most
I like-
people,
I like
most
bone-
people, don't.
most people that I've served have not been satisfied with it, or something.
Mhm.
I mean, I straight up one time because I was in the bar, and when you're serving in the
Eh.
bar, you can be a completely relaxed
Yeah.
human
Oh, yeah.
being.
Yeah.
And so I literally looked at, and my table was super chill, and so I looked at him and I was like, "That is my most sent back dish. I would not get that."
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna be real honest with you. I was like, don't get it. Like, it's just a waste of your time because you're either gonna hate it and then not get anything to eat, or you're gonna hate it and then I'm gonna have to get you something else, and all of your friends are gonna be done eating by the time you get your food.
I heard like get anyone to order that. Honestly,
No
Like,
one ever no one ever gets it.
Yeah.
I had one guy that got it and he loved it.
I
and
think
was
it's
like,
dude. I think it's good,
No.
bro. I like it.
But you like octopus.
Yes, like I really think it's good. I think they make it. They don't. I think it looks shitty when it comes. Like they
Yeah.
could do better with like that. But people, I think it's good.
I don't know. It
It's
just
pretty
looks
good.
I'm not a big
like
fan of octopus.
It tastes good.
it looks like something that like you'd minus the octopus and the bone marrow,
Mhm.
obviously, but the noodles and sauce in itself
Mhm.
just looks so shitty
Yeah.
and dry, and
It does. It looks so shitty.
And I
It
mean,
looks so
if
shitty.
it
doesn't
if
look good.
put some olive oil on top of it, like make it glisten in
Put
some
some
way,
cheese in there.
or
give
melted
it some
butter,
oomph,
like
Put a fucking piece of parsley on top of it, dude.
Yeah.
Like just anything.
you just throw some chopped parsley on it, and
Uh.
that doesn't do it. Like, but I don't know.
That being said, though, most sent back dish, I don't get that sent back because no one ever gets it. So it's
Right.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had like I said, I've had one guy that be like, "Oh, this is one of the best things." I'm like, I'm glad you like that. It's not
Mhm.
what I would have picked, but I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna tell the guy I wouldn't have said that.
Well, and I mean, I think my thing is we always push people to things that we want them to get, so we don't give them an opportunity to look at something like that. Does that make sense?
Sometimes I'll switch it up if the kitchen I feel like can prep or I mean prepare the dish right,
Right.
mhm.
then I'll push it. But if I know for without a shadow of a doubt they cannot prepare that, I'm not selling it.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we know we are very good at selling what is
Yeah.
going to taste the best that night, depending on who is back in that kitchen.
The thing is, though, is like, if I'm selling something, I'm usually selling it not because of the price point. I'm usually selling it because it's what
It's
I would
good.
get.
100%.
This is a safe item that I think is good that I can stand by and be like, you're gonna like this,
100%.
whether it's $38 or it's $78.
That is one of the
whatever
biggest
the fuck it
reasons.
is. Like if it's good, I'm gonna tell you it's good. If it's not good, I'm gonna say it's not good.
Right.
That's one of the
And
biggest
you
reasons
can either get it or not get it.
yeah. I'll look at a table and be like, shrimp sauté with linguine.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
if you're looking for a classic pasta dish, shrimp sauté and then add a thing of linguine with it.
Yeah.
And it's so good because I literally have eaten that
And it is good.
It was good.
Mhm.
at our
That's good.
restaurant
Yeah.
as a customer. Like
Yeah. I usually stick to the things that I
Mhm.
eat. Like I'm like I didn't get this way by not eating. Like,
oh, I
I try to
joke
make
like
a
that.
fat joke, but
I literally do all the time.
and it makes the table like feel so much better. But like they're like, "Oh, you're not fat," blah blah. I'm like, yeah, you know, a lot of bread,
Right.
a lot of bread's eaten throughout this.
Bread.
Speaking
Jim
of more
and-
bread, please.
right.
Do you need more bread? We got more
I'm
bread.
Great.
I actually,
I've
there was
got
a
some,
point in time where I was gonna grab an Olive Garden breadstick, but I didn't do it.
You should
You
have.
should have.
I grabbed a biscuit.
I know. It was
Ugh.
right before you grabbed the biscuit that I thought about doing it.
That to be said though, like, don't fucking come into work and come to my work and be like, I need bread now.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do it.
Well, and I mean, cause like
I
when
do.
I
I
go
will sit
out,
there. I will sit there in complete silence and be like, I don't want another piece of bread, even though I really do want that. But I'm never
Right.
asking that
It's
server.
not it's more of like the, okay, so like if someone sat down and they were like, oh, like, would you mind like if you guys had bread, could we get a little bread? It's more of like the expected, like, we're getting bread, right? Like, where's our bread?
I
Oh,
literally
like,
had
dude,
someone
fuck,
say
bro,
that
like-
once.
Or why does that table have bread? Can we get some?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay, yeah, it is
are we
like
not
on
getting
request.
bread?
Like,
Like,
you can ask also.
sure,
like
just ask for it. I'll
I'm
give it to
busy.
you. Like, we'll get you
I
bread.
have a
Like,
lot going on. I'm not worried about your bread.
Right. Well, and then there's tables that don't ask for it, but it
Why didn't I get bread?
yeah, why?
Yeah, at
we,
the end of the
we
meal,
didn't
they're
ever
like,
get our
we
bread.
never got bread.
Okay.
or
Mhm.
I'll like bring bread because that's my thing. If like a table doesn't get an appetizer or
Mhm.
a salad or something and they're just waiting for their entrees,
as, like, a
I
buffer?
will
Mhm.
I will automatically bring out a basket of bread. And
Sometimes.
then they won't
Sometimes.
touch it.
Yeah, no one eats it, and you're like,
And then you look at it and you're like,
I just literally wasted.
you are the one table that I just wasted $1.50 on.
And
Like,
time. I don't even care
Right.
about the money. I care about
because
the
9
time,
times out of
'cause
10 I went and
I
got
just made that.
I probably got it myself. So
hmm
I've had multiple people. If they get like the soups or something, I'm typically
Yeah.
gonna give them bread.
hmm
But it like I hate when people are like, don't we get bread? Like, no, like you don't. It's free. I'm
My-
not giving you. I'm not out here to give you free bread. I'm out here to sell you food
I still think
because
that
I
we
know
should
you're just
charge
gonna
it.
get a soup.
My last job we
Dude.
charged for bread.
Some of the best.
First basket is free. The second and fourth baskets you're being
You
charged
should.
for.
And like, if I go somewhere and there's bread on the menu and it's like whatever as an app or whatever, I always buy it because it's probably really good. And then it usually comes out.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I hate when it's free. It's like Texas Roadhouse is free, but like, bro,
They're known
I'm
for
not
But they make it fresh in their kitchen every day.
literally.
Like-
But I'm not be like, I need more bread, please. Like, I'm not doing that. I'll be
Right.
like, I'll be certain, I'll be nice, and be like, oh, can I, do you mind getting us in there the basket? Take your time.
Right. If you have a second.
At your convenience,
Yeah.
if you can't, like whatever.
Just
But
be
like,
kind, dude.
we are.
just nice about it.
Be nice about
Yeah.
it.
Where's my bread?
I think that most servers are great customers because we have that extra understanding of it's not that detrimental if I don't get 5 more pieces of garlic
Literally.
breadsticks.
1,000%.
Like, will it enhance my chicken Alfredo because then I can dip the breadsticks in the Alfredo sauce? 100%. But if you've got 7 tables and you're the only server on the floor, I'm not gonna be like, hey, go get me some more breadsticks, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
More
I see you're really
breadsticks.
busy, but I need my bread.
Where's my
Right.
fucking bread?
be like,
How am I supposed
my
to eat
bread
this without my
basket's
bread?
empty.
Did
Or-
you not
oh
see my
gosh.
basket's empty?
God,
Like
dude.
refill. I don't want them to ever be empty.
God.
I'm going to be honest. The tea thing,
Tea?
it's getting to me.
We need to
Iced
start
tea?
putting pictures out.
The iced tea thing's starting to get to me.
I
What
don't
do
know
you
why
mean?
we don't do
like
that.
free?
I'm tired of filling it back up over and over again.
Oh, like filling the customer's
They're
cup
like
up?
They're like meth heads, bro. They
Oh.
Oh,
just-
you're talking about sweet tea.
yeah, dude.
Oh, awful.
Just one
awful.
after another after
I
another.
100%
And then they're like
believe
more tea, more tea, more tea.
I
Sweet
love
tea
it.
should
It's
definitely.
just
We should
really
charge for
annoying.
sweet tea refills.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate that.
I love
thing.
it when they're like, well, that's not as sweet as the last batch. Oh, because whoever made the last batch actually just poured it in there and walked away.
They didn't measure
and
it.
they didn't measure it, and they just like poured
They
it
didn't
in
stir
there.
it.
They didn't stir it. It all slipped to the bottom, and it's just a whole mountain of just sweet
Also,
sugar.
I mean,
Oh,
we
dude,
have to
fuck.
make our own.
I hate it.
We have to make our own simple syrup.
Ugh.
Either
Mhm.
either you get the essays that
Ugh.
just pour granulated
They just
sugar.
pour granulated. I think they do. They do because it's all bunched up at the bottom.
Yeah.
They don't let it soak first.
Oh,
and get
I
it
do.
liquefied.
I
Unless
get-
you're in the
And then
morning.
put it in.
Unless you're a server that opens in the morning
Yeah.
and you go and you measure out your sugar and then you pour the
If-
hot water on it and stir it until it's a liquid and then pour it in there.
If I do sweet tea, I would typically make a simple syrup out of it.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna sit there and do like we had this one place, or actually Jim and Nick's, we had to make bags. That was one of our side works. We had to make bags of sugar, and it was weighed like I think 2.3 pounds of sugar, or no,
Ounces probably.
it might be
Or
ounces.
grams.
I don't know. Anyways, it was
Definitely not 2 pounds
No,
of
I think it was-
sugar.
2 cups or 4 cups. I can't. It was a lot of sugar for whatever
That's
the
a
fuck it was.
quality and not a quantity.
I know, completely
What?
different. Anyways, regardless, you had to make a lot of tea, like the sweet, and people would just like open the bag, pour it in there, and walk away. But dude, I would sit there and like make sure the sugar was like
Dissolved and shit.
dissolved,
Yeah.
keep dumping until I see no more sugar in the actual tea.
I will say we got super spoiled at our last job because
yeah.
it was part of the kitchen's prep work to make
Yeah, they made
simple
like
syrup.
a big old Cambro, like a 5-gallon Cambro
of simple syrup.
Mm.
And that
For
like
the bar, for
for
yeah,
anybody.
for the bar and
everybody?
the sweet tea.
It
Like that was
they just put a picture. They put a picture in a bowl on top.
that was part of their prep work.
But we ran through so much sweet tea. We had to have 4
Right.
of them. Like where we work now,
we
we
went through
we don't run through that much sweet
That's
tea.
probably why I hate it so much. Because like, when someone asks for it, I'm just like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, now I gotta go make
Get
sweet
an alcohol
tea. Like,
beverage.
Yeah, get a water or some shit. Like, I don't know, dude.
well, and here's my
I'll walk
thing.
all the way back there every time I need to get new tea.
Literally.
The bar has simple syrup,
Mm-hmm.
so why don't we have simple syrup?
You don't need it though.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't make that much.
No, but I mean, you
I get
you
what
can
you're
make
saying.
it in batch and it won't go bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
I get what
Because
you're
it's just
saying.
can
if you
just make
store
right
it
on spot real
properly, you
quick
know what I mean?
per
I mean, I get what
batch.
you're saying,
Yeah.
but like, we don't
I don't
ever
know.
really have to make the tea unless we work in the mornings. So
And
like,
you never work in the morning. I always work your morning shifts.
well, hey, you know, sucks to suck,
Mornings
whatever.
suck.
That's not how that works.
Bro. So much to talk about.
Oh gosh, we can go on for
We
hours.
could literally go on
we
for
really
hours.
could because we do all the time.
We do this
just
not
without
on mics.
microphones and
Mhm.
cameras in our faces.
We'll sit here
but-
till 3 a.m. drunk, be like, the fucking bullshit.
Names start coming out.
Hey, if we're gonna get drunk, I need another drink. But
Mhm.
And be Matt and I on New Year's Eve, New
Oh
Year's
my
Eve all over
gosh.
again. The next day hurt. That next day hurt. Oh,
We left to go to. We
Did I
left
t-
the next day.
did I tell you about that
Sure
night?
about the next day.
Did I tell you that I got a complaint that night? That I
Yeah,
worked?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys all know. But
Mhm.
quick story that this guy complained like a whole month later after New Year's
A
Eve.
month
Oh
after.
yeah, okay, yeah.
A month
Yep.
after New Year's Eve.
Him and I guess his father-in-law or whoever he was got a
The one that
tomahawk
gave you his
set.
business card and shit.
No, I don't know if he gave me
Oh,
a
that
business
was a
card.
different one. That was the old couple they called the next day.
Oh, dude, come on! I have so many stories. Anyways, this one table, I got them on the old wine. It had like all cork in it, and so I had to like decant it twice because my dumb ass didn't use a filter on the first time. And the cork obviously got into the wine. But they split a tomahawk, and then they got 2 sea basses. Didn't tell me anything. And then a whole month later, like, who had this table? Thought management's like,
I remember you're
oh,
so confused. You're like, what?
I was like, I mean,
That actually
I was-
sounds kind of familiar.
sounds familiar. I was like, who had that table? And they're like, you did. And I'm like, oh, that's why. And then I
That's
was
why
like,
it sounds familiar.
I was like, oh yeah, they tipped me great. And then they went back and looked at my pay slip, and it's like they tipped accordingly, but they had to bitch to corporate. I was like,
Gotta say something.
Yeah, and it's not
like,
even
what are you
that
looking for?
It's not even that they complained to like the restaurant itself. Like they
corporate.
literally called the corporate number and complained to corporate.
About the sea bass. I was like, I'm not. I literally that night, I was like, I'm not selling that sea bass. Not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Till you fix that problem, I'm not selling it.
Yeah.
And thankfully Christian did
Yeah.
figure
But
it out for the back of house, but
anyways,
Be like that.
thank you
You're
guys for
wild.
coming on this episode. This
Yeah.
has
dude,
been
yeah.
a blast.
This is so
our
fun.
inaugural episode,
Pilot.
The pilot episode.
pilot.
The-
we had to have bread on our
The pilot.
Mm-hmm. The
br-
pilot.
The bread pilot
The bread
episode.
pilot.
The violet.
The pilot.
You're done.
I'm done.
You're done. He's
The-
not even
the-
You're done.
drinking.
The Rylet.
Oh,
Shit.
The Rylet.
R, but
like,
like
get it?
R-Y-E.
Rye. R-Y-E.
Yeah.
Rylet.
Stop it.
We did
right
that.
now.
it's too
We
much.
did that
Matt.
here.
You guys are
Yep.
on a roll.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Oh,
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 shit.
man.
Oh shit. Can't think of it anymore.
I can't. I'm done. I'm done.
And that's a wrap.
Thank you so much for dining with us today. We hope to see you next time. If you're interested in joining the More Bread Please Club, please definitely make sure that you subscribe, like us on Instagram, and stay tuned for our next episode. 86 Bread.